Alright, so in this video, we are constructing a triangle with two given angles and one side in between. So we're going to have two angles that's going to join, and then the side is going to be in between. So let's do our sketch. So we have a triangle BCD with B being 30 degrees and D being 120 degrees. Now that 120-degree angle is a big problem for a lot of people, so we're going to take this one slowly. So we know that 120 degrees is going to be more than 90, so 90 degrees is going to be like that. So we're going to open it up. This is our sketch. So this is how 120 degree as a sketch, 120 degree as a sketch, that's how it would look on this side. So the 30 degree, we know that 30 degrees not that much, so it's going to be a smaller angle on this side. So we can just go ahead and describe a small angle 30 degrees here. Alright, so that's how, kind of how our triangle is going to look in the end. Then the angle in between, so this is going to be angle B here, and it's going to be angle D. So the angle, the line in between is going to be 6.5 centimeters. And this is B, this is D, and this would be point C. Alright, so let's go ahead and draw our line BD. We can do it this way, where we draw a really long line and then we pick a point to be point B, and then we measure 6.5 centimeters on our ruler. 6.5 centimeters. You could also use the millimeter side and just measure 65. That's the same thing, right? 65 millimeter make 6.5 centimeters. So then we scribe the arc, cutting the line, and that would be point D, right? So let us do first the 120, because that seems to be giving a lot of persons trouble. So we want to start, just by making it small, because we have a small space here that we're working with. So you can just use a small width for your compass. So we're going to do a 60 degrees, because let us look at the 120. The 120 is going to be made because we have a straight line here that would measure 180. Now if we could construct 60 degrees on this side, then automatically the 120 would fall on the opposite side of that angle. So if we, to make life easy, we describe a 60 degree on one side, and then automatically we'll have 120 on the other side, because 60 and 120 will be equal to 180 degrees, and that would give us this straight line. Alright, so we'll just do 60 degrees on the outside of the triangle. We do a quarter turn, and from the line, from the point where the arc cuts the line, we scribe another arc here, and then that point would be where our 60 degree would go through. So then just extending our line as long as possible, because if you look at our sketch, it's going to be a long line here. So we'll just extend our line to give us enough space. Alright, so that would be our 120 on this side. So 120 would fall on that side. So over here 60, but really we're focusing on the 120 that would be on the inside of the triangle. Next we're gonna do the 30 degrees. Now the 30 degrees is very similar to the 120 because it uses the 60 degrees. Now because the 30 degrees are going to fall on the other side, we're still going to use the right side of this point for our 30 degrees. So first we're going to construct 60 degrees. Alright, same way that we did it just before, constructing 60 degrees. And we're going to use a dotted line this time because we want to show that it's not a part of the triangle. So you may not see it clearly, or you may, I don't know. So we're using a dotted line for our 60 degree, and it's not a part of the triangle, because we're going to then bisect this 60 degree to get 30 degrees. So then at each point where we have this at the 60 degree points where it cuts the two lines that form the 60 degree. At those 2 points we're going to use to bisect, and we are going to get 30 degrees. So here we go from that point and that point, and this is where the 30 degree point will be. So going from B, going through our 30 degree, making sure that it connects with this line here in order to complete our triangle. That is how we're gonna get 30 degrees on this side. So this is 30 degrees here, and this point would be point C. Now we just take our protractor and measure just for accuracy, and that is exactly 30 degrees. And then on this side we measure for accuracy once again, and that is exactly 120 degrees. Well, it's kind of 1 degree off, and you know I'll give the full marks for being 1 degree off. All right, then another part of the question says measure and show the length of BC. So that would be this length from B to C. So we're just going to take our ruler and measure the length from B to C, which is 11 centimeters. So we're just going to go ahead and write 11 centimeters. All right, and with all our points labeled and our drawing looks very nice and cute, yeah, that's about it. That's all we have to do.